Welcome to today's collective reading. This is Trinity Gaia Consciousness. My name is Sally. I will begin to open today's reading with some sound resonance, setting that intention that this space is set aside for you to communicate with your higher self, your future self, kind of sending those messages to you right now, giving you the heads up, and for your spirit team to connect with you. That those synchronicities that are here for you, whether they be for now, it kind of brings some closure and understanding to anything from the past, or be about what's to come. These readings, they are timeless. So whether it feels very muchly present for you right now, or you're not quite sure, there may be a synchronicity here that it just never ceases to amaze me how I encounter something and later it connects to something else. And I'm like, oh, so that had some meaning. Okay, well, I'm glad that I was there for that. I'm glad that I got that. And I'll invite you to just kind of take a deep breath to count of 4. Pause, and then a slightly longer exhale, just really calm. No structure to the count for the exhale. Almost a sigh. Letting your nervous system know that you can be a little more present here in this moment. You don't need to do, you don't need to push, you don't need to force. You could just be. That breathing, it helps that really anchor into your physical experience. Even if you have things going on, this moment, this time, is for you. Okay, so they want me to start with this one here, which means there's, typically when this deck comes through, it is, I want to say, it's more official. Okay, so you guys are definitely going through some stuff. You are learning your strength. You are being made aware, I guess, what are the right words here? It's kind of like when you're a little kid and you're learning to ride a bike and you have training wheels. Well, you need the training wheels for time because you're learning how to balance. And you're learning when you lose that balance because the training wheel is there. Ooh. So with whatever this may be that you guys are currently going through, you are aware of when you've had that training wheel keep you from the bike tipping over, but you have been working on all those neural pathways and understanding and connecting all the dots intuitively, even into the physical of what it is to be balanced as you ride that bike, as a metaphor. There's another perspective, though. And this is of the higher self, future self, that has come back to kind of connect with you. And that is the role of the parent as you let that individual, that child, ride that bike for the first time without the safety wheels. And all that hope and anticipation and excitement and the protective, their own internal, of letting that bike go and knowing that, you have a plan for should they need to get back up, you're there, you're with them. But there's a sense of freedom that you experience in that first moment. Even when you're riding a motorcycle as an adult, like there's a freedom that comes from that experience. It's almost like you're flying. Mm-hmm. Oh. Whatever is coming at you guys, whatever is challenging you, whatever this may be it in like your physical world, maybe it's job related, it's possibly like a family dynamic, but there's a deeper meaning underneath that's internal, that's kind of playing out in the subconscious and in your energy. Whatever this may be, they cannot interfere. They cannot intervene. I want to make sure I got that right. You don't stand alone. You do not stand alone. And the reason why I say I got that right is because in my mind there was another card in that deck that immediately flashed, and it was, you only have something to have anxiety or fear about if you choose to believe that whatever this is has the power that you give it to create what you fear. Like this concept that if you have a thought about worst case scenario, like if you have a flash of glass half empty, like you're looking at only the negative in it. If you have that thought cross your mind, it doesn't mean you by default create it. And if you get irritated or angry, should it definitely be something more energetic? What is fueling that anger? Is it pure just defensiveness and like raw, like you're just angry, mad? And like what's fueling that? If it's like this profound love, like you're that parent feeling protective of that child, that is fueled by love and the desire to protect that innocence. Because as a parent, your role is to protect them so they can be kids for as long as possible. Because they have so much already that you as the parent, you're like, okay, well, I'm gonna deal with the adult stuff so my kid could be the kid. And this happens within each and every single one of us. It doesn't matter how old we are. We all have an inner child. So this isn't just an external thing, it's internal. You're not alone. You have all of you showing up for you. And you're always learning. You're always learning and refining. You're constant moving, unpredictable, like you are the labyrinth, my guys. I don't know why that phrase came through, but like you are the labyrinth. And just like in the Harry Potter movie, like how that labyrinth would adjust and shift, you are always doing that. Whether this you in this moment is aware of what future you is doing, higher self you is doing, your inner child is at play. Oh, excuse me. There's all these dynamics of you that are going on around you. And it's challenging those that are trying to, I don't know, get to the center, I guess. So whatever this doubt, this fear is that would like to take that power from you and get you to believe that just because you think something negative doesn't mean you create it. Like they want you to believe you create it. No. You can speak over that. You can be like, okay, this thought, this glass half empty focus, this just, worst case scenario. Okay. Well, this is what I want to do with that. I don't want to give to that. I want to give to this. This is the rewriting of a story. So, yeah, that's a possibility, but is it where I'm going to focus? No. Is it a possibility? Maybe in another timeline. Maybe in another multiverse. Not the one that I'm in. And you are learning and refining, and they never know what's going to happen. Because you're a moving target. You're always adapting and moving. Okay. So let's go a little deeper in here, because that's very like higher self here. Let's get an oracle card here. Ooh, okay, we got a couple. They came out and they bounced. Okay. All right. This is an interesting visual. Very like Kali kind of energy. Okay. Yeah, but it's not Kali though. This is like those energies that want you to believe you don't have a choice and that they can tread on you. They want you to believe that. But the truth is they want to take your intuition. They want you to feel less than, beneath than. It's kind of like, for example, Halloween. Like, they want to scare you, but it's a costume, it's a mask. It's not something they can actually back. Like a house of cards. You know, if you were to find one little thing in their outfit that didn't fit, maybe like imagine a tutu on them or something that would just deflate the fear factor completely. Like a sense of where they are insecure, where everything rides on you buying what is causing, you know, them to try so hard to be perceived as scary that yeah, you just flip that right on its head and it deflates it. It allows that house of cards to just tumble. Like it's a cascade. A really good visual for this that is very grounded in everyday life is when you put like the first drop of Dawn dish soap in your dishwater, and you could just watch this instant reaction, right? You bring in your Dawn dish soap to this situation, and it instantly changes everything. It's just, yeah. Yeah, this is what they want to do. They want you to doubt your intuition, your connection, your higher self. They want you to believe that they're more powerful. And they're not. Okay, yeah. So here's the Kali energy. In the story, the epic of Kali, what stops her rampage is when her counterpart, her mate, the masculine to her feminine, when she gets to that point, he stands between her and, you know, her like rampage. And she doesn't, like, she stops with him. She can't continue on that rampage with him. So the lion, the tiger, stops this and allows her to become something else. So your counterpart. So if you pretty much are moving in more of a predominantly like receptive, that's how you're manifesting. You're allowing it to come to you. Well, there's going to be an action, a choice, a decision that will come in, and you either are the one making this decision. So you're moving out of receptive into assertive or masculine, or there's literally going to be someone in the opposite energy of you that presents you with that choice, that opportunity, a sense of almost like divine timing that allows you to completely pivot. So if you were like stuck in like this angry, like protective, like fierce love, now you're going to be able to do that same protective force that you are able to make yourself safe, and those that you feel cannot defend or protect themselves, you're still able to do that, but you're not doing it from such a fiercely warrior-esque, like take no prisoners kind of energy. You're able to be that effective, but it'd be a visual of Dawn dish soap versus whoa, like getting your Bruce Lee on. Yeah, and it's all happening within you, but it's like all of you, yet again, with this Kundalini. All of you, all the dimensional layers of you, the energy, like your heart is part of how you speak, and it's how you create, and you're anchoring it into the physical, but you're connected to the intuition and the divine all at the same time. Rewriting your story, claiming that sovereignty. Yeah, I did not want it to just be like, yeah, this is their energy and this is what they want to do. No, like that is a strong affirmation that you guys are writing your story. And this may be just around the corner for you guys. This may be what's coming. It's to let you know that, hey, there is light at the end of this tunnel. It's one more step, one more moment, one more decision, and you'll turn the corner. And you'll see this. And it'll all start falling into place. Okay. So we're going to grab a power animal card here. Now what was on the top initially was the frog. And that really jumped out at me. It's typically more of a receptive energy, but it's also kind of got some of the energy of Ganesh in like the Hinduism pantheon. Just like the remover of obstacles, but the frog leaps over. Oh, you want to block my path? Well, boing! Like a spring. So are you receptive to this obstacle, whatever it may be, just no longer being an obstacle? Like, is it something where you're so used to fighting that you maybe don't know how to shift gears instantly? There may be a little bit of like a buffering time with that, and that's perfectly normal and natural. Very clearly, I'm getting messenger. Hugin and Munin, Odin, shamanic journey with how he lost his eye. He was the hanged man. That was his shamanic journey. He sacrificed that eye and then he hung upside down from the tree until he achieved enlightenment. He came down. Hugin and Munin, allies, messengers, you have all of you helping you. And I'm getting like present you is being aided by past and future you. So your past is something that you've learned from. That's where that shadow work comes in. That's where you know and you learn what your dharma is, meaning the fruits of your karma, what your purpose is, what every instance in your life means. Because it's all about reclaiming your power, healing, alchemizing it, whatnot. Because when you're encountering other people that have been through the same or similar things, they're going to know that you know what they mean. They're going to instinctively feel the authenticity in you, and because of that, you're going to be able to reach them. Even if you never say anything to them, they will feel that. Their higher self for certain will know that. We have Crow here. I'm going to make sure you guys can kind of see that and freeze frame and read it, because it's shamanic wisdom, so ancient human wisdom from all over our planet. Renewal, transformation, magic, and abundance. So I'm kind of getting the feeling that you guys are going to have a bit of a surprise before you coming. Right. What would you like us to know here? What would the collective tuning in here? I really like this deck because it kind of does a play on role-playing game, D&D, but it's also got some elements of pretty much every fantasy, like Lord of the Rings. Oh my gosh, there's just so many. So many. How to Train Your Dragon. Like, there's definitely the arc of the story of the hero's journey throughout this deck, and all the creative ways that we have created these stories, whether it's at home with your local group just doing your D&D, or movies, books. They're all human archetypes. Okay. Ooh, okay, that's a little too much. My hands are too big or too small. My hands are too big. Talk about opposites. Oh my goodness. Somebody may feel like their hands are too big. I don't know. Big hands. It's a thing. Okay, so we have the hunter. Ooh. Okay. Okay, these both came out last time. You guys saw me shuffle. This may be linked to the reading that I posted 2 days ago. Definitely check that out. So they came out together. So this is a link with that. So what do you want us to know here with that, with the hunter in particular, other than that this is something that is carrying over from that reading, but that collective may be finding some new information here. So this is about sure-footedness and predestination, and it's in the reverse, so it's a question of internal, like you may feel like there's so much coming at you, or you have. And there's a noose here. Like, there's definite, like, this energy did not mean well. But the sleeper, cause and effect, clarity. You right now, I'm getting the sense that you have this choice to embrace what you know and no longer be the sleeper. It's that Dawn dish soap thing again. So the archetype that's coming through very clearly is like Reaper, like the angel of death kind of. It sounds so heavy, but I have this like short in my mind where Death is just hanging out at a freeway, and he's just watching, and you see someone speeding, so he's like, oh, something's probably going to happen there. That's why I'm here. Okay. And he goes over there, and he's thinking, all right, this is probably what's going to happen. And then he notices that there's a woman in labor in the back seat, and that his actual purpose in being there is not to take a life, but to make sure that that life is brought into this world. How that flips, like, death is not necessarily bad. You can't have a new beginning without an ending. It's transformation. So this struggle, this overwhelming, like, look at that visual, this overwhelming struggle is no longer overwhelming. It is able to transform because you're moving from, oh my gosh, into being aware that you can have that effect with far less, like, maybe you were like imagining like tanks and Blackhawks, like you were get really creative with how defensive you were being, like you were military strategizing with these energies. Now you're Dawn dish soap. That's potent, and it's not that it's like all of that military strategy took so much energy to construct. It's the foundation. So now when you give that drop of Dawn dish soap, all of that is contained in that drop of Dawn dish soap. But you're just giving that drop of focus to it because you have other things that you're focusing on now because you're awake. You have that opportunity right now to choose that, to embrace that, to see clearly and own that. I mean, hell, right now, I would invite you, if this is something that you're resonating with, fill up the sink or even a bowl with some hot water and maybe, it had like pasta in it last or something. It's got a little bit of grease in there. And you put that drop of Dawn's dish soap in there and you see that, just anchoring that visually into your physical reality. Powerful stuff, guys. Very powerful, the impact. And this is like, you're not running from this. You're not running from it. You're owning that sovereignty. The crown, you know this internally, but writing it into your story. It's not just about the hands here in the front. It's about the shadow and how it completely changes the narrative, viewpoints, and controls. So it's getting to see all of this from a completely different view, a higher view. Higher view being that you see more of the picture. You're able to zoom out because you're connected with past you and future you, with the Hugin, Munins part of the reading that I just got the synchronicities with. Like, you're able to see more of it, the cause, the effect. Wow. With the eye here on the hand being open. This card always, and I know this, I say this because it's so true, but there's the Sia music video, Genius, and how there's like two people and they have a dog and a cat and they're just like howling at the moon kind of a thing. Like they're thinking about each other. They're always on one another's minds, but one's a cat, one's a dog. Like men are from Mars, women are from Venus kind of a thing. Like you think and move and feel totally different, yet you're the other half of one another. Like this other person understands your perspective instinctually. All of you recognizes that this person can understand you in a way no one else can. Like another genius meeting another genius. You process the world differently. You experience it differently. Right. What is the deeper layer here? Synchronicities here for those that are tuning in still. Ooh. Okay. Okay. Inner strength and vitality. Cups here. It's going to be energetic, intuitive, self-love. Okay, before I speak on that, I would like to have another confirmation. 10 of Wands, also internal. Okay, so, all right, we're going to go with this. Okay, so in the readings that I did coming in to actually hitting record, knowing that this was, I'm looking for consistencies for the collective. And also getting kind of a bit of a familiarity with the finer, the smaller, like the micro within the collective with that. You may be going through cycles where you feel like you have so much energy and you are just pumped about doing things. And then you almost feel lethargic and tired, and it doesn't necessarily fit. Like that is necessary for where you are right now. It's like that lethargy, that tiredness, that I need to take a nap. You're healing, you're integrating, you're processing so much information, mostly unconscious, but there's far more that you're consciously aware of. And when you're doing that, there's an emotional component, and that can be tiring. It's kind of like clearing the cache in your computer, or going through and defragmenting and just kind of reorganizing and shuffling things about. Because what you're doing here, you have to create it from within. It's not going to be something that is created outside of you and then comes in. So when you feel these ways, honor that and trust your intuition with it. If you need a nap, then take a nap. I'm getting a little tidbit of information that came through. It was something about like modern athletes, how they're doing like micro sleeps and how that is helping to regulate their energy more consistently throughout the day. And really it's kind of like, at least for me, when I've experienced feeling that way at times, it's like you're overstimulated and you need like a sensory deprivation state for just a little bit to kind of recoup. So that's what, like having 10 minutes, laying down in bed, lights off, maybe you have some kind of like a sleep mask or, some way of doing a little more like distance between outside stimuli. You're not necessarily going to fall asleep in 10 minutes, but you still give your nervous system a break for 10 minutes, allowing it to catch up on everything and process and calm. That allows that cup that you have, that intuition, that power in that drop of Dawn dish soap, that allows that to be something that is anchored into your experience. It's already present, but it's making its way through all of you. And it's not that it's not already there. It's like it's affirming it for you to consciously know it's present because you've observed it. You've experienced it throughout all of you. Getting like some kind of something to do with like a gift that like it's an organizer or planner or your first cell phone, and until you have it, you don't really realize how useful it is across the entire board, and discovering how useful this is from moment to moment and new situation to new situation, and you're like, wow, this worked really well here, and it worked really well there, and it's present here, and it's present there, oh, so it's like it's everywhere. Okay, there's not really like a gap in it. Having those moments where you can reflect, go in, yet again, like the sleeper thing, like cause and effect, the clarity, it allows that to kind of anchor in and be processed. So much of what we are aware of, we're completely subconsciously processing it. Our brain only brings to our attention the most needed. Like my brain right now, from my understanding of the science of it, is fully aware of what's going on. I don't know about like my brain, but the average person, I encountered it with some kind of a documentary. I mean, definitely feel free to like fact check, but if this is something that interests you, definitely dive into that. Dig deeper into it. Get the actual like current, because this could be something that's like 5 years old. And with how fast things are progressing, there could be more data that's more accurate. But the concept is that, for example, the average person is aware. Their brain is aware of what's going on in like a 10-foot, 30-foot radius of their physical being at all times, but we only consciously become aware of specific things that our brain says, hey, they're not in the room with you. You don't need to know. You don't need to have that brought to your conscious awareness. So it only brings to your awareness the temperature in your space, the volume of what's ever going on in your space, whomever, whatever, like this cute little kitty in your space. So you create from within, and having these times where you time out allows for that to become something you're more consciously able to be aware of. Maybe as you go through this, you're expanding that bubble of awareness. And that takes more time when you're first becoming aware of that to process it and do so in a balanced, healthy way. So fill your cup and you will manifest from that space. There's just a very clear, short to the point, you can't create from an empty cup. Fill your cup, take care of you, nurture you, listen to your intuition, and what you desire to experience will manifest. And be stubborn with it. Be stubborn with it. Don't give it, you just keep doing it. Eventually you'll get there. And we have the Three of Wands and the Eight of Wands. Three of Wands is, there's different pathways, different options to get where you want to go, but you know exactly where you want to go and you know exactly how you would prefer to get there. It's not that you're not aware of the other choices you could make. And communication, validation, seeing it actually anchor into your physical. It's not necessarily another person validating you. It's seeing maybe the numbers, or maybe there's an extra comma in your paycheck, or maybe you lost 5 pounds this week, or whatever it may be. It's anchoring in. There's that synchronicity coming back to you. There is definitely going to be a mirroring of this in the individuals around you, for sure. Definitely. So I'm getting so many different ways in which this is going to be coming into your experience that it'll surprise you. You may be thinking that it'll come in a relationship dynamic or a friendship or a family situation, but it ends up showing up in a completely different way, and it ends up affecting all of that. It's surprise time. It's like it's Christmas from now on. Okay, so we have 3 that came out. 3. Outcome orientation. Climbing that mountain. And it's easy to spiral into why something is difficult when you are when you are outcome oriented. You focus on the results you want to achieve rather than the obstacles in your way. Seeing the destination helps your nervous system navigate the way. So you may be aware of the glass half empty stuff, but you're choosing to focus on where you want to go. That is those other options. And because that's where you're focused, you're more likely to arrive there because all of you is directed in that direction. Brighten the vision. Floating house in the moon. Okay. Man in the moon might be a synchronicity, the childhood song about Colin Aiken drum. I don't know. It's been so long since I've sang that song. Okay. Transform how you feel about a goal by enhancing its mental image. Picture your desired outcome. Make the colors brighter, the details sharper, and the scene larger. The more vivid your vision, the more motivating and achievable it becomes. So involve all your senses if you can, not just how it looks and you sharpen those colors, but how does it smell to be in this space? Does it smell like patchouli, or does it smell like the best barbecue? Whatever this vision may be. Add in all those senses. And then the power of dissociation. Noticing the spectrum here. Like when the broadcasting, oh my goodness, what was going on there? With the broadcasting station, when they're not broadcasting due to I don't know, some kind of, something's going on, it's interrupted for a moment, they do that color spectrum on the screen. I think there's also a music video or band that uses this, but I have no idea who. I'm not sure what that's about, guys. If you know what that is, leave a comment below, because that will be fascinating. That'll be fascinating, and it may be a synchronicity for some people. When emotion clouds your thinking, try stepping out of a moment, seeing yourself from the outside, and viewing the situation objectively. When used as a strategy and not as a form of avoidance, dissociation can help you regain clarity and calm from a distance. There's an exercise once that walked me through that very thing, where it was like you see yourself as an actor on the stage in your life, and you're observing everyone going on, everybody, all the dynamics, how you're moving, what you want, what your goal is, but you're here and you're like, this is the core of me. This is I'm a loyal friend. I want people to be happy. I enjoy feelings of moments in peace, and I want to feel alive and passionate about my life, lead an authentic life. Like these aspects of you that are consistent. That's the observer perspective. But you're watching yourself going through the action of creating it. It's kind of like when you're going through hell, keep on going. Face that fire, walk right through it. You might get out before the devil even knows you're there. Kind of a thing. Like you know that the only way out is through. So you're watching yourself make those steps. Like you build it and they will come. If you want to have more energy and you know that you need to do X, Y, and Z to really build that environment for yourself to have the optimal energy, even if you don't feel like it in that moment, there's that observer that's like, yeah, but this is the only way. So I know this, and even though I don't feel like it, I'm going to parent myself right now. It's like it's time to have your cough medicine, and if you don't want it too bad, you're taking it because, if or for example, like, yeah, I think it was C.K. Lewis. He was something about like, you have to eat. If you don't eat, I go to jail. You have to eat. Like the parents, like you have to take care of yourself, or there's like consequences. Like it's just not acceptable. Those consequences to not arrive where you were seeking to get to is unacceptable. So you have that observer, that inner parent kind of I know I'm tired right now, but it will be better if I keep doing this even though I'm tired. Interesting. I typically do not clear it at this point. So I didn't know why I grabbed this deck, but I did. So I'm going to kind of bring this to a close here with these very straight to the point confirmation cards for you guys. Ooh. Okay. This is ideation. So we have a star, excuse me, we have a star inside of a square inside of a circle. Foundation, the four edges of like a house, the tent, the Four of Wands, the circle, cycle, and to me this is like an affirmation that you are that pentacle. You know that you are that pentacle, and that affirmation, that reality, the anchoring in of that truth, it's only something that could come from within you. You could still feel like you're working on that, but you know where you're going to end up. You know where you're going to. This is like a double intuition, inner intuition. Working with both your inner feminine, inner masculine energy. So you're like doing this dance of knowing when, like intuitively moving in a receptive fashion when it's necessary or needed, and it just feels so natural, as well as being assertive, asking a question, and taking an action, and it's creating inner peace. It's like a peace offering to yourself as you've been going through so much, and maybe you still are because of how this reading started. That is the peace. The peace in the midst of the chaos is yourself. You are your own haven. You are your own stronghold. And then we have surrender. So this is going within, surrender within. Kind of getting a sense that there might be a bit of which is natural, to have a bit of fear or apprehension about what you learn about you as you go within. But you don't lose connection with any part of you as you do this. You bring more of you into the fold. But that fear is natural. And this is like the original circle. There's something that you want that you're not experiencing. And so that want begins the manifestation of finding these overlaps, these balances. Because like there's just so much rich symbolism in these. You guys, you got this. You got this. So you go be that Dawn dish soap and know that it's got all this military strategy now in that tiny drop. You've done the foundation. You have. You're not alone. You have all of you. All of you. No one piece of you is above the other, but this is your life. You are consciously living it now. So no other part of you will take over, because that's not how it works. It's not like your future self gets to come into your current now and just like take over, but your future self can be like, oh, I'm going to send me some energy. I'm going to send me some extra support. I'm going to see if I can't get this synchronicity to me at this time to change where I am now. And then future you does that. It's not future you going, I'm going to take over. You do not need to fear yourself at all. In this process of setting those boundaries, you're very aware of that. Self, other. You're very aware of the difference. All right. The divine, the love within me, sees and honors the divine, the love within you. Namaste.